let's talk about my dumbest purchases that I made in my 20s. You guys have literally been with me throughout my 20s, which is so special. You guys have seen me graduate from high school and college and start my full-time career here on YouTube.
Parents put so much pressure on their kids to go into a career that they don't truly love.
I know this is a very popular tag going around YouTube, and I thought, why not jump on the bandwagon to reflect on all of my dumb, stupid purchases that I made throughout my 20s so you guys can learn from my mistakes and hopefully not repeat them. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. Don't forget to click on that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload. So without further ado, let's hop into the video. The first mistake that seared into my brain that I literally have nightmares about all the time is the one time I paid $700 to fly from San Francisco to LA. And let me tell you, on average, the flight only costs between $100 to $150. I checked last night, it's not that expensive. I was just really excited to fly to LA for BeautyCon. They had invited me to go, but I had to pay for my own transportation, and it was probably only the second year of BeautyCon. So back in the day, having these networking opportunities were a huge deal. Honestly, I just wanted to fly to LA to hang out with my friends, to meet with brands face to face and possibly network with new people. I got to the airport with my bag. I was a little bit nervous because it was only my second time flying by myself. So I get there, I tried to check in, but 10 minutes later, I still couldn't figure out the machine, so I went to the desk and I asked the representative if they could help me, and they told me,
well, you booked the wrong date. Your flight is actually next week, and you're actually early to the airport.
United, I will never forget that moment. I just could not believe the words that were coming out of their mouth. I honestly didn't know what to do. I was just kind of stuck and frozen, and my heart just stopped. They gave me a few options. If I wanted to book a flight the same day, it would cost around $400 to $500. I would not get a refund on the current flight that I had. When you're not in the right mind, you make decisions that are kind of rash, and I ended up buying that $400 or $500 ticket. So in total, the entire cost of the trip was around $700. The event was okay. Like, I don't think it was a make it or break it moment, that my life depended on it. I had this serious sense of FOMO, and I didn't want to miss out on the event or see all of my friends having fun without me, so I bought the ticket. I don't recommend buying last minute flights like that because you can get so many great deals online. Don't pay a lot for a last minute flight. The second mistake I just deeply regret because honestly, I don't use it that often. After I graduated from college, I took a trip to Paris, and my friend convinced me to buy a designer bag. And we walked into the first store that I saw, which was Chloe, and I literally let her pick a bag out for me, and the bag cost $1,200. $1,200. Purses in Europe generally are cheaper because that's where they're manufactured. I decided to pick out this bag. This is the Chloe Faye bag. It was super trendy when I first bought it, but let me just tell you, it is not a practical bag. A little magnetic closure. This is so funny. I literally have business cards in this purse. This is the last time I wore it because I wanted to impress some people, I guess, and an eyeliner, okay. I'm the type of girl who would prefer to spend money on experiences over material things. There's a lot of really affordable ways that you can get a designer bag for like a fraction of the cost. I prefer to rent them or get them for a fraction of the cost from places like Rent the Runway. Oh my gosh, if you've never heard of The Real Real, definitely check that out. It's a consignment website for designer goods. Highly recommend that. I have a lot of friends who have tried it and really liked it. One thing I wish someone had taught me in my early 20s is cost per wear. How many times you plan to wear an item and divide that by the total cost of the item. And I've only worn this purse about 3 times, so the cost per wear is $400. Just hearing myself say that out loud makes me feel really stupid. So I have my mom right here and I wanted her to react to my first luxury purchase, this designer bag. So mommy, 佢個愛你估幾錢? She thinks it's $400. No, more.
800?
200,000.
Wow, so expensive.
你話哪個好玩啊?
This one.
幾個? 好似
靚呢顏色靚。
顏色靚呢，
個 design 又好睇。
I wish I had purchased a bag that was more of an everyday kind of bag with a zipper on it. I'm very paranoid that someone will mug me when I'm walking down the street, especially with a flashy bag like this.
And they can easily just slip their hand and take out my wallet or my phone.
Let me tell you, the second time I wore this bag, I got incredibly drunk. I have no idea why I thought it'd be a great idea, but I was so drunk, trying to find my way home. I just vividly remember spilling one of my drinks on this bag and I was crying. I was literally sobbing on the ground because I knew how much it cost and I had just ruined my nice designer bag. Mistake number 3. This piece of paper I've spent over $100,000 on, and that's my college degree. When I graduated from high school, I was so lost. I had no idea what I wanted to major in. If you go back and watch some of my older videos from like 2012, I talked about dealing with racism in school and how I wanted to do a career change. You know that one friend who's known since they were in kindergarten that they wanted to be a doctor? Well, that was the complete opposite of who I was. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I was good at.
It's not fair that, you know, parents put so much pressure on their kids to like go to medical school or go into a career that they don't truly love.
Both of my parents are immigrants and they just wanted me to have a stable office job or to go into the medical field, which is what I did as a good daughter. I ended up majoring in nursing, and if you look back at some of my older YouTube videos, I talk about dealing with racism in school.
All I wanted to do was to make my parents proud and to make my sister proud and my friends proud, but I was working so hard. I was studying all the time, and even though I got really high grades, it didn't matter because it still wasn't good enough.
So I transferred schools a few times. It cost a lot of money to apply to nursing school and all of those school transfers, and I ended up at UC Davis studying economics. I feel like that major did not serve me as well as it could have. I could have picked a different major, classes that were better suited towards what I'm doing now, which is running a full-time business as a content creator, producer, editor. I wish I had taken a class on graphic design, more finance classes. Going back to school has always been on my mind, but I just can't believe I spent so much money on a degree that I don't honestly use to the fullest potential. Definitely cheaper ways to go about getting an education. You could do a community college, take online courses, definitely save money on textbooks. I used to buy them full price from the bookstore, but there are places like Unidays or student plans that you could buy on Spotify, so definitely do your research. Even apply for scholarships or grants. You never know, you might qualify if you have really good grades. Don't hop into something just because you feel the pressure from your family. Do what you think is right for you. Number 4 is buying the latest and greatest camera equipment. I feel that every year there's always a new phone out there or a new DSLR that all the YouTubers and content creators are hyping up, and as a full-time creator, I definitely fall into this trap. I always feel like, oh my gosh, I need to buy that new Rode mic that's like wireless and clippable, or ooh, the new Canon G7X now has a audio port. There's always going to be something newer and better, but the following year equipment gets cheaper. just remember when I started my YouTube channel, I had a camera that was just a couple $100. Some people who use their laptop webcam. The best camera is honestly the one that you carry around with you all the time, and often the one on your phone. I do want to get into vlogging and I really want to improve the quality of it. If you guys have favorite vlog channels that you like to watch, comment down below and share with me. You know, do it for Instagram, go to a cute cafe, but I've definitely done some stupid things where I've spent like $8 on a latte, $8 US. To brunch. Often than not, it's those small purchases that you don't really think about that really add up. This is not like some weird exchange where it's actually cheaper. It's not. It was just really expensive. And I know even in LA, there's a $10 latte. Oh, look at that latte. I feel like food gets more and more expensive, and I know it's an art form, and I definitely appreciate well-made food that's artistic. And for a while I was obsessed with Michelin star restaurants. I wanted nothing more than to eat at a Michelin star restaurant almost every month, and it was such a treat for me to go for my birthday. But I think these more expensive meals should be reserved for special occasions. Right about now, you might be paying for something that you've totally forgotten about. And raise your hand if you can relate to that. I've talked about this before, but in my things that I'll stop purchasing in 2020 video, I talked about my class pass experience where I was paying for the membership and had no idea, and I had gone on vacation and there was no way that I could be taking any of these fitness classes while I'm abroad. So you should definitely check out Truebill. It's a great app to track all of your subscriptions all in one spot so you see what you're paying for. Another great one is Mint by Intuit. This, you can track all of your different transactions. If you plug in your credit card and checking account, it'll help you categorize it so you see maybe you're spending too much money on transportation or eating out or beauty or just random things, and it'll tell you like different ways that you could budget. I feel in 2020 we should all be more informed about our finances and be debt-free. Now that we've talked through all of my worst, dumbest, stupidest purchases that I made in my 20s, I thought it would be helpful if I share it with you some of my best purchases, things that have definitely shaped who I am today and has helped me through my career. So the first one is one that I made as a decision early on, and that was moving back home after I graduated from college. Rent in San Francisco is inflated because this is a tech community. There are companies like YouTube, Uber, Facebook, Pinterest, they're all here, which is why a one-bedroom costs on average $3,200 up to $4,500 if you want something more brand new and decent looking. I honestly didn't have a job lined up for me right after I graduated, so I thought moving home would be the best way to save money and be able to take on riskier job opportunities like being freelance or working for myself. Not having a stable income was really challenging when it came time to look for an apartment. I decided to save my money for a future home, and I've been saving a lot all these years, and I definitely recommend doing that because I'm glad I'm debt-free. I was able to pay off all of my student loans all by myself by living at home with my parents. Number two is renting designer clothes and handbags. I am an avid fan of Rent the Runway. This is not sponsored by any means. They have no idea I'm talking about this to you guys, but I love Rent the Runway because I've been trying to cut down on the amount of clothing that I have in my home, and since I don't have an office and I only have a one bedroom with a very small closet space, I need to be very careful in what I end up purchasing and bringing into my life. And it's really easy as a fashion blogger and content creator to get sucked in and to buy literally everything because it's on trend, and I want to show you guys as a fashion blogger and stylist like how to pair these items together It got to a point in probably 2018, 2019 when I got so overwhelmed with the amount of clothes I had. I had suitcases of clothes in my basement that I never wore, and I had a really hard time letting go. I'm definitely a fashion hoarder. Ugh. Sounds not so great to say out loud. I have a really hard time letting go, and now by renting my clothes, I'm still able to style pieces that I love and support designers and not feel guilty about it. You know, renting is not for everybody, but there's also consignment shops or thrift stores, which is a more sustainable way to shop, especially in this new decade. Those were my top 5 dumbest purchases that I made in my 20s. Don't book a last-minute flight. Don't buy a designer bag on a whim. Don't try to graduate as early as possible with a degree that you don't even care about. Don't try to buy the latest and greatest camera equipment just because there's something new. Don't lose track of your monthly subscription services. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you guys don't make the same mistakes that I did. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!